previous video, I have shown how to use include row in a playbook. So let's look at my playbook again. So this is the few lines I showed in my last video, which show how to use include row and specify a row name, my default row. I am going to show two more include row right here in my playbooks. And this time I have include row 1. This is the name of the other row, and also include row 2. And I have added a tag. Well, actually it was in my previous video, but I did not explain it. But for this first include row, I have a tag called always. For the second one, I have two tags, never and row 1. And for the third one, same thing, never and row 2. So let's see what it does. I'm going to run Ansible playbook, my playbook, without any tag. So without any tag, it's going to run include row default row because I have the always tag assigned to this task. If I want to run, let's say my second include row, I would do this. And now it's going to include default row and row 1. So if I want to have row 2, I just need to add row 2 here. Or if I just want to run row 2 without row 1, then I would do this. The default row will always get included because I have that always tag assigned to it. Now let's look at my playbook again. Now what does this mean? Apply, tags, and always. Let's take them away because that's how it looks like in my previous video and see what happened. So I will run this again. Now with a tag equals to row 2. It is going to include my default row and include row 2, but none of the tasks got carried out. So what happened here is when I add a tag, the tag get passed into my row, but in my default row task playbook file, there is no task called row 2, but I have a task called task 1. So what if I take a look at my row 2? Now I have two tasks in row 2, and I happen to have another task. One of the tasks is again called task 1. So in order to carry out that particular task in the default row, I will have to run my playbook like this, task 1. And in this case, actually, it's only going to run two tasks because I have this task 1 tag in row 2. So it's able to carry out task 1 and task 2. But I mean, it is a big of a hassle if I have to put in all the names of my tags on the command line. So what I can do here is for this default row where I always want to run everything within the row, I can add a line like this, which is to apply this tag called always. Now, when you name something always, it means the task will be carried out even without specifying the specific task. So always means the task will always be carried out. So in this case, let me run this command again. read night this time without test one, just row two. It's supposed to include default row and row two, but as you can see, without specifying the tag for test one, it is running test one because I have this always tag. So as for row two, I have two tasks. If you remember, let's look at it again. And where is it? Okay, I'm going to type it out again. Test two, row two, test. Okay, I have two tasks here, test one and test two. So I can run my playbook like this, test two, and it's going to continue to run whatever is in default row and then carry out test two. And then if I do test one, it's going to run this from default row and then test one from row two. Now, what if I would like to be able to specify to pick up a task within row two, but at the same time, um, be able to run everything from row two? What should I do? If I were to put always here, put apply tags always, it is going to always run everything within row two. But if I don't add this, then all it does is allow me to specify a tag, but not everything. There's nothing like if I do always. Let's see what happened. So as you can see, even if I put always, it's not going to include anything from row two. So what I've come up with is instead of using always, I now apply a tag to call run all. Run all is something I made up, so it can be anything. So when I want to execute to carry out all the tasks within row two, I just need to specify a run all tag on my command line. So it's going to include row two and carry out all the tasks. Just to prove this is the case, I'm going to edit my task file in row two and rename this row three. No, this is still row two, sorry. And row three and row three. Okay, let me try this again. It's supposed to run all the rows, all the tasks within row two. So I have row two tasks, task one, task two, and task three. So let's look at my playbook again and see what happened. So in my include row sections, what this means is it will apply a tag called run all to every single task within the task file in my row. So when I specify run all on the command line, Ansible playbooks is going to pick up all the tasks that has a tag called run all. And this is what that is applying an additional tag that is not already in my playbook at runtime. So I think this solved the problems of using tag within include rows. I have searched online many times until yesterday I couldn't find a solution. So I kind of play with it and came up with this and hope it will help you guys. Thanks.